Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of the Age Group Triathlon podcast. I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 23rd of April, and I'm dropping this to let you know that the strength and conditioning course that I have been teasing about has just gone live for pre-sale. Okay, so the reason releasing this is that the podcast comes out on Tuesday, and I don't expect there will be any copies of the course left by the time the next Tuesday comes around. So I wanted to give you all a heads up about that. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the course, going to do my little sales pitch, but I'm also going to include at the end of the episode a little bit of a guidance on how to choose the right gym and the kind of things to look for, because I don't want it all to be a sales pitch. But bear with me. So this course that I've put together is designed for people who have done very little in the way of strength training, or maybe no strength training at all. It may be something they've heard about and they know that they probably should be doing it, but they've struggled to really integrate it into their training. They don't understand how to do the movements. They maybe feel a bit intimidated by the gym. It's this whole sort of area that just seems a bit scary and a bit intimidating, and it's easier to ignore it and pretend it's not there than it is to actually take a look and go, you know what, I'm going to find a way to make this work for me. So the course starts out right from the bare bones. We are looking at, why we strength train. We're looking at what it looks like within a calendar for a triathlete. We're looking at gym etiquette. We're looking at all of these foundational bits that nobody really talks about an enormous amount. It's just assumed that you know this. It floats around. But if you want to go to a gym, you want to feel confident. You want to know what the equipment is. You don't want to be wandering around feeling self-conscious, so this is all about empowering you, helping you understand the jargon you'll hear other people talking about in the gym. We also have a huge section on triathlon anatomy. So we're looking at all of the major muscle groups, what role they have in the body, how we target them, the kind of exercises that we use, and the injuries that are often associated with these exercises. Now, I'm not a physiotherapist, but I'm just putting in some very basic things such as, the calf muscle generally being associated with Achilles tendon pain. So it's a very low level, but to give you a real appreciation of the human body and how it works. Now you'll get access to all of this today when you sign up for early access. Then, in early May, I don't want to give an exact date because I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be finished by, and I don't want to rush out something that's half-baked, but in early May when it's all ready, I'm going to be releasing 9 12-week strength programs for you to choose from. So this could, no matter your experience, no matter what equipment you have access to, there will be a plan in there for you, okay, assuming that you're new to strength and conditioning. In addition to this, you'll also have a fully comprehensive exercise library with videos and text instructions, coaching points, progressions, and regressions for all of these exercises. Now this is a really comprehensive course, retails at £50. If you sign up today, you get it all for £25, okay? Massive 50% discount. £25, I mean that is less than a one-to-one session with a strength and conditioning coach. To have enough information, enough tips to help you get started on your strength training journey. Okay, so the link is down in the show notes. I highly recommend you jump in. Okay, it's already only been live for less than an hour and I've already sold a couple of copies. Okay, so I'm not sure how long this is going to hang around for. Jump down into the show notes, grab your copy today. Next up, I wanted to look at how to choose a gym. So this is a question that, a lot of you would think, well, hang on a minute, I've been in the gym non-stop since the winter. Okay, that's great. I'm really pleased to hear that. But as we are coming into April, there are a lot of people who are coming out of hibernation when it comes to their triathlon. And they may have done very little training over the winter. Now that it's starting to get warmer in the northern hemisphere, they're suddenly thinking, you know what, I'm going to do another triathlon this year. And they may be looking to do one in September. And they're just starting their training now. So what is it you're looking for in a gym? And this is lifted from my course. So one thing to consider is sort of what your budget is. At the end of the day, that's going to be a large sort of determinant of this. It could be that you're somebody who's making multi-six figures a year. It may be that you're trying to do all this on a shoestring. Okay, so I would advise you of all things in your triathlon not to spend on the level of gym that you go to. This isn't an area to invest money. Money is much better spent in other areas than on your gym. First option is your very budget gym. So these are often 24-hour gyms Very little in the way of staff presence. There can be sort of real sweat boxes, lots of bodybuilders, lots of cardio equipment. They're not especially imaginative, they're not especially nice. You'll probably have some awful dance station that is playing the entire time that you're there. But you know what? They can work really well for triathletes. Because as triathletes, chance of us being in the gym more than twice a week are pretty low. Okay, in the off season, somebody who's a really dedicated Ironman athlete might get in the gym 3 times, but most of us we're looking at 2 most of the time, maybe once a week if we're really in the thick of that race specific training. So if you're only going to go once a week, do you really need to be spending good money on that membership? Probably not, you know. What you need to go, okay, so what am I looking for in this gym? I'm looking for a squat rack, well, preferably more than one, few squat racks, kettlebells, dumbbells, sort of medicine ball is nice. But as long as you've got those basic components of strength training, you know, do you really need sort of this latest fancy bit of kit that the person who shows you around is really excited about telling you about that you're never actually going to use? No, it may be that a cheap and cheerful gym is all that as a triathlete you really need based on the amount of actual time you're going to spend in there. Now, prices can really vary with these, and again, it depends on the location and number of factors, but some gyms I think you can get for as little as £15 a month to get you access. You know, they may not all have sort of great changing facilities or showers. I think there might be some with no showers on site. But, you know, it is a great place for you to save money if you're trying to do everything on a shoestring. And if you compare that to the cost of getting everything you'd need to work out at home, if you're only actually going to be accessing, if this is only sort of a short-term journey for you, okay, this might actually end up being the most economical option. The next gym to consider is what I call sort of a premium gym. So this is a gym where I would expect to pay kind of between £50 and £70 a month for. So it's a definite step up from your standard sweatbox gym. It'll be much larger. There'll be a lot of people on hand in the gym to help you. Most importantly for triathletes, there may be a pool actually attached to the gym. And if that's the case, this can actually be the more economical option than going for the budget gym. Because if you're spending £5, £6, £7 a swim for your swim training, you're there twice a week. And you can get a combined membership that covers your swimming and your strength. Okay, that can actually end up saving you money in the long run. So definitely don't dismiss these out of hand, even if you don't have a huge amount of money. But for the actual strength side of things, there's not an enormous amount that these gyms can do that a budget gym can't. They might have like a cafe on site. They might have nicer changing rooms, but you know what? If you're not fussed about such things, if you're much more sort of practical and pragmatic, then realistically, I think this will give you all that you need. And then finally, we have our luxury gyms. So these are gyms that are really marketed at sort of high earners. They tend to appear in wealthy areas. And what the salespeople at these gyms aren't selling is access to a gym. They're selling this whole lifestyle change. They often have really nice kind of cafes, restaurants, eateries, whatever it is that you want to call it, a club room maybe, where you can order nice food. They'll have a very nice pool. They'll have a state-of-the-art gym. They may well have tennis courts, a spa, all of this attached. Loads of classes that you can go to. Actually, it's probably something I should have mentioned with the other sort of premium gyms, is they'll often have classes, and if you enjoy going to yoga or any other classes, then that can pay for itself. It's not exclusively the luxury gyms, but the luxury gyms will often have more classes and they'll be of a higher quality than the ones that are run in sort of what I call premium gyms. And these gyms, they are great. I'll be honest. There's something very nice. Now, I was a member of a luxury gym, I'd say, for about 8 years. The reason that I was a member is that I was able to take clients of mine into the gym using my monthly guest pass. And that really worked out for me, because if somebody got on contact, asked some coaching, I'd say, yeah, of course, let's do a swim analysis first. You take them to this nice gym, it's an experience, you lay it on, and it really worked well for me. But at the end of the day, When I ended up leaving, I kind of reflected on myself. I thought, hang on a minute, I was paying £150 for that. And, yes, some of that was a business investment. But realistically, what do I miss from that now that I'm at a gym where I get swimming and gym access? I think I'm paying £17 a month for it. I was a mug paying that much for so long. I wasn't getting my money's worth out of it. I wasn't using it as much as I thought it would. I had it in my mind that I would use it more than I did. Even when I, absolutely wasn't using it. I seem to remember actually one month I went for a swim. Thought to myself, I think this is the first time I've been all month. Like, this is the world's most expensive swim. You start off with these luxury gyms, and you'll end up going sort of 5 or 6 times a week. And you think, yeah, I'm really going to get my money's worth. But they're selling a lifestyle change rather than they are anything else. And like anything, these things, they don't usually stick. I think they're great for sort of retired people with a lot of time. They can go there multiple times a week and really get their money's worth out of it. But I think for a lot of people, I wouldn't say they're taking people for a ride because people are choosing to spend their money, and it's the members' fault if they're not going as much as they could or getting the value that they need to out of the membership. But it really is, you do really need to sort of stop and think to yourself before you sign one of these minimum 12-month contracts where you're going to be paying a lot each year for this. Just think to yourself, is this really necessary? Is this the best use of my money? Now, if you are earning a lot of money, a lot more money than I do, and to you, that kind of money, you just, oh yeah, I'll pay that, there's no problem. Sure, go for it. Why not? But if you're not especially flush, and you're sort of, ends a meeting but not by much, and you think, well, hang on a minute, what else could I do with that extra kind of £120 a month that I'd save by going for a slightly cheaper gym? Am I actually getting my money's worth out of it? Is it still doing for me what I thought it would? So again, I'm not saying don't sign up to one of these. I'm just saying, try not to get lured in. Definitely don't spend above your means. So that's it really. Again, I'm not going to tell you which gym it is that you should sign up for. I'm definitely never going to do that. But think to yourself, if there's a pool attached, is it going to be more economical to actually sign up for a nicer one that has a pool attached, as opposed for just sort of paying for individual swim sessions elsewhere? Think about the location as well, how close it is to you. And sort of something else I should mention is that if you search for gyms in the area, there may well be CrossFit gyms and lots of other sort of different speciality gyms, boxing gyms and the like. You probably don't want a membership at one of those. They are based more around personal training, classes. There are limited access to them, much more limited equipment. You just want a boring commercial gym, I'm afraid. That's all from me. Before you go, just a reminder to pop down in the show notes and grab yourself a copy of this course for 50% off while stocks are still available. All the best, and I'll see you next Tuesday morning.